One day, a companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, and he asked him, Ya Rasulullah, before I accepted Islam, I used to perform a lot of good deeds. Will I ever be rewarded of those good deeds that I performed before accepting Islam? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in response to this question, Aslamta ala ma aslafta min khayr. You accepted Islam because of that khayr that you had observed, practiced in your life. Because of that khayr, you accepted Islam, and Allah Azza wa Jal gave you tawfiq to become a Muslim. The purpose of this hadith is that there are a lot of people in the world today. In fact, the majority of the people in the world today are not Muslims. The total number of Muslims in the world is little more than 1 billion. The total population is more than 7 billion. So that means majority of the world population is kafir. On top of that, there are a lot of Muslims who were born in a Muslim family and they're leaving Islam. In fact, there is a very interesting research, and I oftentimes give its reference. The research was done, the survey was done in 2017-18. According to this survey, 23% Muslims in America, they are leaving Islam, and around the same percentages of those people who are accepting Islam. Now 23% is not a small number. When you have 100 people, out of 100 people, 23 people leave Islam. That's not a joke. It's a very serious concern. But I always say that it's not a concern for Islam. It's a concern for Muslims. Why? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in a hadith, "Bada al-Islamu ghariban, wa sayaudu kama bada ghariban." That Islam, the Sharia, the Deen, the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it began as gharib. What is the meaning of gharib? Strange. Something new. People don't recognize it. It's something that people don't understand. Think about that environment where everybody used to do shirk, and suddenly Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam claimed that he was the messenger of Allah, and he called everybody to Tawheed, to oneness of Allah. It's totally the opposite of the worldview of that era. So Islam began like this, and only few handful people accepted Islam. 7 or 8 people accepted Islam in the beginning, the first week. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Wasayarudu kama bada," and it will happen. It will return as it began, meaning it will become like it began. Only few handful people will remain Muslims. So Muslims have to leave Islam according to this hadith. So it's not a concern for Islam or for Allah Azza wa Jalla. Al-Iyaz billah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very concerned and bothered by this situation that 23% Muslims are leaving Islam. No, that's not the case. Yeah, it's a big concern for Muslims. Why? The reason is that we as a Muslim community are failing every day in convincing our youth that Islam is the only truth. And we as a community have failed in answering the doubts that our youth have in their mind. So that is a concern for Muslims. And you know, this research, this survey that I presented, it's also a very strong evidence today for the truthfulness of an ayah of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in tatawallaw yastabdil qawman ghayrakum thumma la yakunu amthalakum. Allah is warning, clearly warning, in tatawallaw, if you turn your back, if you think that we're not convinced by Islam, if you turn your back, no problem. يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ, Allah will replace you by other people and they will not be like you. This replacement is going on right away. It's right now going on. So 23% people leaving Islam and 23% people coming into Islam. This is a replacement. And Allah Azza wa Jal has said this in the Quran centuries ago. So Islam is not worried about it. Muslims should be worried about it. Now, I was saying that majority of the world population is kafir. They are the disbelievers. They are either the idol worshippers or people who believe in Jesus to be the Son of God or they are Jews or both or whatever. But they're not Muslims. They are in the majority. Why? If Islam is the truth and is the only truth, how come majority of the population, world population, is not accepting it? Because if it is the only truth, then everybody should accept it. Are we saying that the majority of the world population is fooled? That they do not understand the very clear and the only true message? What is the reason? It's a question that comes in some people's mind, and inshallah I will try to address that today. It just happened yesterday that I was teaching a hadith and I would like to give its reference. The hadith is reported by Huzayfah ibn al-Yaman radiyallahu anhu. The hadith goes like this, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told me two things. The first thing I have witnessed already. The second thing I am waiting for. The first thing that I have witnessed is نزلت الأمانة في جذر قلوب الرجال ثم نزل القرآن فعلموا من القرآن وعلموا من السنة. That first amana came down. Amana is honesty. Honesty came down. It was deposited into the hearts of people. After that, the Quran was revealed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not reveal the Quran without any preparation. He prepared the hearts of the people to accept the Quran. After that, the Quran was revealed. So we see there are many stories. Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, before they accepted Islam, they were the worst enemies of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Take a look at the example of Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu. Amr ibn al-As, according to a Sahih hadith, he says, talking to his son Abdullah, that, "Oh my son, I have 3 stages of my life. The first stage is when I was the worst enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and if I had found him in that stage, I would have killed him. I used to hate him the most. And I'm sure that if I had died in that stage, I would go to Jahannam straight. Then the second stage began when I loved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam the most. And out of respect and love, I couldn't even see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today, if you ask me to describe his physique, his description, physical description, if you ask me to tell you, to provide you his physical description, I would not be able to do so. Because after accepting Islam, out of respect, I never looked at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I used to love him the most. And I'm sure that if I had died in that stage, I would go to Jannah straight. Now think about this. That look at this change in the life of Amr ibn al-As. That yesterday he was the biggest enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ready to kill him, ready to assassinate him. And today he is someone who's ready to sacrifice his life for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What changed his life? Another example is Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. We all know how he accepted Islam. It wasn't easy for him to accept Islam, but at the same time, it was very easy for him to accept Islam. He was going to assassinate Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and on his way, someone met him and reminded him that, "Why are you going there to assassinate Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? You have to take care of your sister first." She had already accepted Islam, and he changed his way and he went to take care of his sister, and he heard the sister and her husband reciting the Quran. When he went inside first, he started beating them, and after he calmed down, he said, okay, show me what you were reciting. And then he himself recited a few ayat of the Quran, and that changed his life. That changed his life completely. The person who was going to kill Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is now ready to accept Islam. What changed him? Those few ayat? Are those ayat not there anymore in the Quran? We still have those ayat. In fact, the entire Quran is there. The same Quran that changed the life of Umar ibn al-Khattab, the same Quran that changed the life of Amr ibn al-As, the same Quran that changed the life of thousands of Sahaba radiyallahu anhum is still there. Now the situation is that a lot of people who read that Quran, they leave Islam. The same Quran that was attracting people to Islam, after reading the same Quran and some of the verses in the Quran, people are losing iman, they're leaving Islam. What's happening? Why is it the case? Why people are losing iman? This hadith that I gave its reference, it actually explains everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before He revealed the Quran, He revealed amana. And amana means honesty. People were honest back then. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anh wanted to take the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yet he was an honest man. When he read the ayat of the Quran with all honesty, he understood that these ayat could not be composed by a human being. They are definitely divine and were revealed by the Supreme Being. And therefore I must believe in Him and I must accept this message. He was honest to himself before he was honest to others. So that's why within a few minutes he changed his mind and he appeared before Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. People today who lose iman after reciting or reading the ayat of the Quran, they lack honesty. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed honesty first. People were ready. Then the Quran was given to them and they understood it and they accepted iman. The reason why 23% Muslims are leaving Islam today in this country is because, and they are the one, by the way, I'm not saying only 23%, not 30%, not 40%. Perhaps the actual number is higher than 23. Maybe 40% people have become already apostate. But 23% are the ones who have declared that we are no longer Muslims. They have openly come out. It is possible that there is a percentage that has weak iman or no iman in their heart, but because of the family pressure or peer pressure, they don't want to announce it. So it's possible. So what's wrong with them? Well, there are two problems. And I openly say this, and people who have going through this situation, sometimes they become upset, but it's a reality. There are two problems. The first reason that caused many people lose their iman is their mental trauma. They have gone through this psychological disorder in their life that they become skeptical towards everything. They lose trust in everything, including Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the first thing. And the second thing is that as soon as they encounter a doubt, they entertain it and they think that because this ayah created doubt in my heart, I'm not going to believe in it. And one after the other, they have doubts upon doubts, and after that, they leave Islam. Why they entertain doubt? Why they encounter a doubt in the first place, and after encountering one, why they entertain it? Because they are not honest. They're lacking honesty. When I say honest, it doesn't mean that they are deceiving the whole world. They're involved in some online scam. That's not what I mean. The first part, the basic honesty, is that we realize or we admit our reality, our academic level. Can you give me an example? One person in the whole world. Only one person. I'm not asking 5 or 10 or 1,000. Only one person in the world who can come forward and who can say that I know everything. All I'm demanding is that one person who says, I know everything. You cannot find one example in the whole world. It means that everybody, doesn't matter how high his academic level is, there are so many concepts in his life, they're not clear. What we know is far below than what we don't know, and it's a reality. When we stop realizing our ignorance and we think that we know everything, it means we stop being honest to ourselves. So the first part of our honesty is that we realize that we don't know anything. Now, if you come across an ayah of the Quran, if you come across a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, or suppose it creates doubt in your heart, think about this. I don't know it. Did I read all the ayat of the Quran? Do I know all the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? And they are hundreds of thousands. Do I know the status of every single hadith, whether it is da'if or hasan li ghayri or sahih li ghayri and whatnot? Do I know every single person in the sanad, the chain of transmission, every single person associated to that hadith, and they are about 500,000 people? Do I know the interpretation, every single interpretation of this ayah? Did I learn the entire Islamic philosophy, the whole aqidah, all the Islamic discourses? Ask this question to yourself first as soon as you encounter a doubt. And you will realize that yes, I only perhaps know from knowledge I have like a drop of water in comparison with the ocean. That's how much we know. So, if that's the case of our academic level, if we are that ignorant, then why don't we just simply admit that the reason why I have this doubt because I do not know, I do not understand it, and I make dua and I pray that tomorrow I meet somebody, a scholar in Islam, who teaches me this ayah and who clears my doubt. Until that, I'm not entertaining it. I firmly believe in Allah and I firmly believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The moment we stop being honest to ourselves, we will secure our iman. The moment we lose our honesty, we will start losing iman. And one day, that person who will lose his honesty will be out of iman. Today, the majority of the population in this world, they are not mu'min because they don't have amana. Amana and iman, they both belong to the same root letters. Alif, mim, noon. Amana is the foundation. Iman is the structure. If you don't have the foundation, the structure will collapse. The structure cannot stand. So if you're trying to build a building and the foundation isn't there, the building will not be completed. And if you are able to do it, it will suddenly collapse. So, majority of the world population, they are not honest to themselves. They may be honest to others. But the first person who deserves your honesty is you. So if we are not honest to ourselves, how can we accept the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? How can we accept this truth? So it is very important, respected brothers and sisters, that we never entertain any doubt, and as soon as we encounter one, we become honest to ourselves and we realize and admit our ignorance. And one more thing, and then inshallah I will conclude. That many times when we do not admit our ignorance and we are not honest to ourselves and we allow one doubt to come into our heart, then the second doubt that will come will be more serious than the first one. The third one will be the bigger than the first one. Why? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in another hadith reported by Huzayfah ibn al-Yaman radiyallahu anhu, he says that تُعْرَضُ الْفِتَنُ عَلَى الْقُلُوبِ. Fitan, and fitan means doubts. Doubts will be presented to hearts towards the day of judgment. Everybody will be doubtful. تُعْرَضُ الْفِتَنُ عَلَى الْقُلُوبِ. Now qalb, look at the last hadith that I just recited. That نزلت الأمانة في جذر قلوب الرجال. Where does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deposit this amana and honesty? In heart. And where the doubts are presented? Heart. تعرض الفتن على القلوب. And then this وتموج كموج البحر. These doubts will come, these trials will come like the high tide, like the wave. And if you are standing at the shore, you will see that the first tide comes and then the next one is the bigger, then the third one is the bigger, and they just keep coming. So if you entertain the first doubt, the second will have to come, the third will have to come, and slowly you will lose your iman. And if you just don't compromise with the first one, you become honest and you say, I do not entertain this one, the second one won't come. This is a very simple, basic cure for all the doubts that we have or our family members have. So, respected brothers and sisters, we are living in a very dangerous time, in time where our youth are exposed to different doubts and Islamophobes who are creating doubts in their heart and they're losing iman. You know, I come across every day, almost every day, I receive a call or a message about someone who lose iman, who became apostate. Families, good family members who raise and nurture their children as Muslims, pious Muslims, when they grow up, they lose their iman. The reason is that we do not have this basic cure. Make your children honest to themselves first, and inshallah their iman will be protected. I make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to follow the Quran and Sunnah. Jazakumullah khayr al-jaza wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. So inshallah tonight we have a family night, and it's after Isha. The topic will be Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu. Dinner will be served. I request all of you to join this beneficial program.